Hi, my name is Susan Stafford Smith. I'm with Century 21 Action Plus Realty in Jackson, New Jersey. I am a more than full-time real estate agent. I've been in the business for approximately 11 years. I do this all day, every day. I absolutely love it. I am ranked #1 in the region, and it comes with a lot of hard work, perseverance, commitment, and the drive to want to succeed. Today we are going to be talking about the Toolkit CMA, some marketing, some social media, and how to position a home to succeed and getting a buyer as quickly as we possibly can for the most amount of money. Diane, thank you so much for your time and for inviting me into your home. I want you to know that we are going to get you through this process, and it's going to be great.
As you know, I've been on the market for quite a while, and I have not had the results that I really need, and I'm in a little bit of a time crunch now, Susan, so I need some expertise.
Okay, we're going to do what we need to do to make this happen, okay? Together, we're gonna talk about a strategy that's gonna get us to the finish line.
How do you communicate with me? That's really important.
So what type of communication do you prefer? You know, I can call you. We can set up a text message string. It's very important. I don't know if you're available during the day to receive these, phone calls at work, but the #1 goal that we have is to share the good, the bad, and the ugly after this showing happens.
I think it's important that I need to hear it.
And you absolutely
There's
will.
something that I have to change. I'm willing to work with you to change it,
Okay.
but I just need to know what those changes need to be.
Okay.
As for communication, texting is fine, email's fine. I can get back to you pretty quickly because my schedule allows me to do that.
Okay.
So open communication.
Good. During the 6-month term, did you generate any offers?
We did have one offer.
And how long ago was that offer?
That came in the first 2 weeks of being listed on the market.
Okay. And then you never generated anything after that?
We didn't. We did not.
Okay. Since the beginning of your listing, I saw that you reduced the price, $40,000.
Yes.
Did anything happen after that price change was in full effect?
Yeah. After the $40,000 reduction, it seemed that the showings even were more infrequent. And I really don't know why. I believe it had to be part of the marketing strategy. So that's something I really want to talk to you about. Okay. I'd like to know, what makes you different.
It's important for you to know that the presence online is the utmost, it is very important, okay? We have to paint the perfect picture in order for these buyers to want to come and see the property. #1, they need to see value. #2, they have to like what they see.
Right.
And #3, that's when they do their drive-by and then they say, you know what, I'm going to schedule a visit.
Right. I noticed I only had about 12 photos compared to many of my neighbors who were listed, and they have 40, 50 photos.
And that's why I'm here now.
All these-
Because as you know, I sold your neighbor's house.
Yes.
And, I'm very, very thankful that they recommended us, and it's going to be okay.
And they did. They highly recommended you. Do you take the pictures yourself?
No, I actually hire a photographer.
Okay.
Okay, the photographer is paid for by us, that we invest in our business.
Okay.
And we will go room by room, just like we did when I first got here.
Yeah, that living room, Susan, how are we going to
We're going to take some furniture out. The garage can look like whatever it needs to. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
It's one day at a time, and it's baby steps. And we have one chance to do this right. I think that right now, one of the most important things is to make sure that you understand the market and what's going on around you. Okay, since you came on the market 6 months ago, there's been a lot of change. We're going through a transitioning time.
Right.
Obviously the market, the time of year will dictate the supply and the demand.
How's the inventory now?
The inventory is low and the demand is good. So what I would like to do is do a little market overview with you, share, what is active, what is under contract, and what has recently sold.
Right.
Just so that you have an idea of where we need to be. So this is what we call a market analysis. This is a little market snapshot, letting you know everything that's going on around you. And I'm sure that you're going to be familiar with some of these if your prior agent shared, market updates throughout the process. Now, keep in mind, not everything in this book is going to be exactly what your home has. However, if there's a prospective buyer that's looking in your neighborhood, these are the homes that they're going to be comparing your home to.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, sure.
So together we're going to go through this, and we will come up with the best plan to ensure that we get you to the finish line.
Okay.
Okay. So the first property is a bi-level.
Okay.
This is obviously just like your home.
Right.
This is a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It's on just under half an acre. This
Okay.
property came on the market for $300,000
Right.
back in the summertime. So anybody that was looking to be in for the school year, this is a property that they would have gone after in order to close on time and get where they needed to be. It did not work. They reduced it to $255, and it is still active and available. So right now you would be competing against this property. The next property is on a half an acre. It is obviously public sewer, public water, just under 1,900 square feet. It's a little bit older. It was built in the 60s. They
Right.
came on the market for $265,000.
Okay.
This is a bank-owned property.
Okay.
So we know that they're going to be very competitive with their pricing.
Right.
They do have one more bedroom though.
Yeah, I see that they have a little bit more, but is it true that they're as-is sales
Yes,
when it's
absolutely.
a bank sale?
Absolutely. So there's no representation that's being made by the bank.
Okay.
The buyer has to be willing to take any and all,
Right.
COs, open permits, any of that into consideration.
Do the buyers and the buyers like agents that are helping them to negotiate these offers, do they use that against me?
No, they don't. But keep in mind that very often these buyers have to secure financing for these types of properties. And if there is broken glass, if there are no utilities, these are a little bit more of a challenge.
Okay.
And unfortunately for these buyers, they're going to have to be willing to take it on.
Okay.
So if they want instant gratification, that is a property like yours. If they see more value in something like this, they may say, you know what,
'Cause I
I'll
can fix
sacrifice.
things. I'll work with them.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good. And we're going to go through that when we make our notes, okay? The next stack of properties, these are pending and under contract, okay?
Okay.
So this means that you lost to the competition. These people have secured a buyer. They are waiting to close.
Right.
And they are well on their way.
Wow, 17 days on the market?
17 days on the market. So when you look at your book here, this
Right.
DOM is going to show you how long they actually sat.
Okay.
That's what that stands for.
Okay.
And this property didn't have a basement. I put it in here because it is right around the corner from where you are now.
Okay.
And they were on the market for $250, and they did secure a buyer very quickly. Okay. The next one is a ranch, but it's very, very cute. They do have a full finished basement, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. They were listed for $264, and they're now pending and under contract.
Okay.
The next property is, it's unique, and you can see by the photo, it does offer something because it is completely redone. It's got the granite countertops, it's got the brand new kitchen, it has the newly remodeled bathrooms. They also have an in-ground pool, okay? They did take a little bit longer to sell, you can see for 114 days, but the reason why is because they started much higher before they reduced.
So they did price reductions
They
in
did.
there.
They did.
Okay.
The next property is, obviously, it's a big house, okay? It's almost
Wow, that's a
2,600
big
square
house.
feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath. It is a mother-daughter.
Why so low? Why is this?
Because this is a bank-owned property as well.
Oh.
Okay, but it's
Okay.
important for you to see that you lost, and it wasn't so much about the condition. So while you're so, my house has that, my house is better. Sometimes if a buyer feels that they're going to be able to get something and make it their own at a less expensive price tag,
Right.
they're going to do that. And this is an example.
Yeah, this is a really good deal
I
for
know.
someone.
It really is. And they have a really nice in-ground pool, fenced-in yard.
Okay.
Okay, these are things for you to keep in mind. So when we
Sure.
want to come up with our pricing strategy, you have to keep an open mind.
Okay.
Recently sold. So from an appraisal standpoint, these are the properties that matter most. These are the properties that the buyer's bank will look at when they need to determine whether or not the value is there versus not there.
Okay.
So this is a property that was on the market for 41 days, and it's actually on your street.
Yes.
Okay?
And they sold pretty quickly.
They did.
That was a little frustrating.
41 days, and they wound up selling it for $10,000 below where they listed.
Yeah.
Okay. The next property, this is your neighbor's house. This one recently sold for $225,000. So we can see that those numbers on the active listings are obviously more inflated than where they're actually closing.
Have you been in this house?
I have been in this house.
And this is one that didn't really have too many pictures or things like that. What was the condition?
the condition was nice, but it did have that extra bedroom.
And compared to my property, what
Yes.
would you say condition-wise?
It wasn't as well
superior?
maintained, however, the numbers made sense.
Okay.
Okay. The next one, obviously, it's another bi-level. This one is just under 1,800 square feet. just about a quarter of an acre, 24 days on the market, and they had multiple offers. You
Oh,
can
wow.
see where they were listed versus what they got. Fear of loss is a beautiful thing, and if you play the game right, it's going to work.
Okay.
The next property has that expanded 2-car garage versus a 1-car.
Right.
And it's on over an acre of property. I put this in here because it's important for you to see that this is a property that does not have public utilities. It is well and it is septic. And as you know, when they go to the other side of town, it's going to be more rural, it's going to be a little bit more private, and
Right.
if somebody is okay with well and or septic, they're gonna go after a property
And they get
like
more
this.
property there too, right?
Absolutely.
More land.
12 days that property was on the market.
Okay.
Last but not least, we have a property here on Tulip. This property was listed a little bit higher,
Okay.
okay, and then they reduced it, and they wound up selling it for $5,000 more than where they reduced the number,
Right.
okay? So this is a property that was sitting. It was on the market for about 20-something days. They didn't see the response. They reduced it.
Right.
As soon as they reduced it,
Yeah.
it worked.
Is there like a list to sale price ratio? And forgive me, I Googled before
Absolutely.
you got here, so I'm going to ask you some of
Absolutely.
those questions.
We will go through that next,
And,
okay?
great.
So this is actually a little bit of a summary that's going to show you the properties that are active
Okay.
that we just went through, and the P means that they are pending and under contract.
Okay.
Okay. All of these people with a C means that they have closed.
Okay.
It's going to show you where they were listed versus what they got, and we're going to break it down.
Okay.
Okay. This is a graph showing you properties that are active, supply, demand. This is the best picture that I can share with you.
Okay.
This is showing you where we don't have a lot of inventory. When
Right.
you ask, how much competition do I have now?
Yeah.
Not that much. These
It's a
people-
lot less than when I
It's the
first
time
sat
of year.
down.
So listen, if you want to succeed,
But will I have enough buyers coming through the house?
absolutely, there's always a buyer.
Okay.
Don't ever fear.
Okay.
Okay. And these people obviously have sold. So this is what's active. This is what is under contract. This is what has recently sold.
Okay.
This is going to show you active properties. The
Right.
average price is 260. The high is 265. The low and the medium price is right around that 260 price point.
Okay.
These properties have been on the market for 55 days.
Right. I'm
And
feeling
they-
I was grossly overpriced before now.
Unfortunately,
I
you
never
were.
really saw a market like snapshot like this to really compare.
This is where it begins.
Okay.
This is the beginning of the foundation, and we need to build off of it to come up with the best plan.
Okay.
Okay? These properties are currently under contract.
Right.
As you can see, while you were listed, these people wound up winning. Here's the average number. The high was 270, the low was 250, and the median price is 264.
Right.
Average days on market was 51 days. This is where these properties were listed. This is what they sold for.
Okay.
They're closing within almost 96% of list price. Average days on market, when you do it right,
28 days.
28 days.
Okay.
Okay. The median price is right around this 250.
Well, with all of this average, low, medium, well, what would you recommend?
I would recommend coming in right around that 242 number. Okay, I think that that's where we need to be to succeed. The market analysis will automatically generate a range of where we would need to be in order for the buyer to see value.
Okay.
And this page is taking the data that's in this report
Right.
and it's giving us a range based on an appraisal standpoint.
Okay.
Remember, the buyer has to be able to get the money from the bank. If they cannot get the money from the bank, they cannot buy your home.
Okay.
Okay, so it has to be worth it, not only to them, but to the lender that's giving them the money. Okay, and we're going to talk about some financing, seller's concessions, and things like that. But from an appraisal standpoint, this is the range of where we would need to be. The top of the range here.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry.
course.
Appraisal standpoint.
Okay.
What does that
The-
really mean?
The buyer, it's not very likely that a buyer is going to be coming to your house with a brown bag of cash. It is very likely.
You can't make that happen?
I would
Like
like to get my pixie dust to
tomorrow?
make that happen.
Okay.
But there's never a guarantee.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to make sure that we are ready for any type of buyer that should come our way.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to position ourselves properly in order for the buyer to see value. When the buyer comes, they're going to obviously, hopefully make an offer, and they're going to define the terms of their loan right on the contract. It's very, very likely that you will generate an FHA buyer. these FHA buyers are afforded the opportunity to buy a home, put 3.5% down,
Right.
and be very, very happy. But it is important for you to know that your type of buyer may be a first-time home buyer. And very, very often, these buyers are financing their closing costs. And
Okay.
that is what we call a seller's concession. I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
Not really.
But this will allow that buyer to keep some money in
So
the
I have to
bank.
give them money?
You don't. Your net
Okay.
number will remain to be the net, okay?
The net meaning the money that's going to go in my pocket?
The net number that they're offering you for the property, and then we inflate it to absorb their closing costs.
So then it goes into their mortgage?
They are financing their closing costs, okay?
Okay.
It's very important for you to know that the property must be worth that inflated number. If it is not worth that inflated number and it does not appraise for that inflated number, then they may not be able to finance their closing costs. And those are things that we're going to get into once we generate that offer.
Okay.
But it's very, very important for you to understand that we must position our list price where it needs to be.
Okay.
Okay? So my recommendation would be right around that 242 price point. I think that we will absolutely succeed. I know that is significantly less than where you were listed before. So we have to
It
talk
is.
about, where you want to go. I know that you mentioned, downsizing a little bit, simplifying your life a little bit.
Right.
And we will absolutely make that happen.
You know I have a new furnace, a new AC. I did my roof like 5 years ago. So
Yes.
is that still putting me in this range?
It is. It is.
It is. So
It
that's
absolutely is. My opinion has not changed since we walked through the home, and
Okay.
I took the notes, and you gave me all the updates and the upgrades and all of that good stuff. What that will do is it will help us get a buyer that much faster.
Is there anything that I can do that would make you bump that number up a little bit?
I know that we talked about the bathroom vanity. A vanity is very inexpensive. We
Right.
can get you something for maybe $300.
But will putting in a vanity change your opinion of the price that you're recommending to me?
I can't say that it will change my opinion. I think it's just going to make it happen that much faster. Okay? Changing a bathroom vanity is not going to bring $10,000.
Okay.
It's just not. Okay?
Okay.
I know that you mentioned a bidding war scenario.
Yeah, how do you handle that?
Okay, so if you wanted to price yourself at a super competitive number, the recommendation would be bringing it right around 238. Okay, so it would be less than this 242 number.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I know. And remember, there's no guarantee that we will generate a bidding war.
Right.
However, that is the goal. The goal is to make sure that we have multiple offers, multiple buyers, a very competitive bidding environment. Keep in mind
I
that
can
if-
always say no to an offer.
I was going to say, keep in mind that if 238 is not a number that you'd be willing to accept, then we cannot list it at that number.
I think that number would work for me, but don't I need room to negotiate?
It depends, because if there is the fear of loss, then you will absolutely generate the number that you need. So keep in mind that it's not always about thinking you're going to get $10,000 less, because I showed you on this page that these sellers are selling right where they thought they would if the buyer sees value.
Do you do social media marketing?
Absolutely.
Can you give me a little background
Absolutely.
on
So
your marketing
obviously
plan?
the buyers are very savvy.
Right.
They know more about your house than you think they do.
Okay.
They know everything that's going on around you. And we actually, as a company, we have a social media manager.
Okay.
And she is on Twitter, she is on Instagram, she is on Facebook.
Okay.
It is about instant gratification. So anything that we need to do, it will have a hashtag in front of it.
Right.
We will get it out there.
I did find you on Facebook, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it does work, as you know.
Yeah.
We will actually be branding your property and putting it out in local venues.
What about websites?
Yes, we will absolutely be on Zillow, Trulia, Oodle, Google. It's going to be everywhere that we need to be.
Okay.
But you have to look the way that you're supposed to look in order for the buyer to be able to say that they want to.
When I was last listed, it took about, I don't know, maybe 7 to 10 days before I even saw pictures. Okay. Am I going to lose that kind of time?
You will not. We will have the photos within 15 to 20 hours from the time that they're taken.
Okay.
They are edited, they are up and running, and we will get them typically the next day posted. And,
Okay.
and then we push to all of the
And
portals.
that's not an expense to me again. That's
don't
all
pay for
part of
anything.
your services?
You don't
Is there
pay for
anything
anything.
that's a la carte that I need to know about?
No.
Something that's going to come my way?
No,
Nothing like that?
no. This
Okay.
is the checklist of everything that you're going to have to do. We will go through this together.
I didn't know anything about this.
Okay,
So-
that's why it's important to have an agent that works in your town.
Okay.
Okay, it's very, very important. When you are not guided properly.
You live here, right?
I do. I live in this town.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you really know the programs and you can really sell this town.
We will get you through this, I promise.
Okay, great.
Okay? So I'm going to leave this with you.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to be your homework in
Okay.
addition to a seller's disclosure that we're going to talk about next as soon
Okay.
as we do the listing paperwork, okay? You don't
So
have
I'll
to fill
take that
this
to take a
out,
look at
but
it.
you're just going to keep this.
All right, thank
okay?
you.
You're welcome. So as soon as we pick our target date, like we have already done, we will absolutely have the photos done,
Okay.
and then we will be up and running within 24 hours. Do you have any other questions?
I think the most important one. Can you tell me a little bit about, your commission?
Absolutely.
How
So the commission
works?
is 6%, okay, and the commission structure is reciprocal. So Century 21 would get 3%, and the agent representing the buyer would get 3%. If we as a company represent both the buyer and the seller, the commission would be 6% total. It will not exceed that, but we would collect the full 6%.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a little steeper than I had expected.
I know it is.
Tell me, are you negotiable with your commission at all?
Well,
I know I
I-
read online that,
Of course.
you have to negotiate
You know,
with
things
everything.
are always negotiable, but I think that you have to remember that you went with that discount mentality before,
I did.
and it didn't work.
I did.
Okay? Our goal is to make this work. And I think, and I know that you went that route because you thought you were saving, and in the end you lost. And because you lost, it has cost you a lot of money.
Yeah,
So-
the time has really cost me a lot of money.
And I think that you understand that we have a team of professionals and we dominate the market here. And because of that, you will see value in what we do. And, 6% would be the commission structure. Is that something that you'd be okay with?
I think in this case, I need to be. I think that I'm going to be getting a lot for my money here.
It's going to be completely different than what you experienced before.
Communication-wise, you'll let me know what's going on every step of the way. That's so important to me.
Yes, you're going to get a text message over your phone,
Okay.
okay? And it's going to prompt you, and you're going to get the notification, and it's going to say yes or no. Once you
Okay.
are fine with the showing and you confirm the showing, then the showing will in fact take place.
Right. I don't want anybody walking in on my kids coming home from school.
They will
No-
not.
Okay.
You will confirm that appointment. And if you don't confirm it fast enough, I'm going to hunt you down, and I'm going to look for you, and I'm going to say, Diane, we
Okay.
need to have the showing request
Okay.
confirmed, okay? Remember,
Yeah.
we have to be as aggressive as you allow us to be, and
Right.
these are all of the steps that we need to take to get these buyers through the door.
So do you have any buyers currently that might be interested in my property?
I do. We work with buyers every day.
Okay.
And the buyer that I actually brought here prior, they did end up buying a home.
Okay.
So we will absolutely, send out a mass email to the clients that we have in our database.
Right.
We do a lot of marketing and nurturing and incubating with these systems that we have in place, and we will absolutely be reaching out to the buyers that we have been working with.
Okay. And you know
Okay.
that they're pre-qualified?
They
or-
are absolutely pre-qualified. If they are not pre-qualified, ready, willing, and able buyers, we will not bring them through the door.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, that's important.
I know.
I don't want to waste my time. There's no time. I'm out of time.
And we're going to make this happen. So why don't we get our listing paperwork set, okay?
Okay.
And we will date everything for the 14th, for the photos, 15th, we'll go live on the 15th.
Okay.
Okay?
I think I'm really comfortable with this whole scenario. And
Good. Excellent. Couple of questions. Did you
Okay.
fill out a seller's disclosure when you listed the property before?
No.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay, this is basically your report card.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to make sure that the buyer understands how old the major systems are. You said you got a new roof.
Yes.
You're going to make sure that you put that on there.
Okay.
How old is the furnace? How old is the roof? Are you aware of any leaks? Do you have
Right.
any open permits?
Okay.
Okay, all of that needs to go on here. This is your brag sheet.
Okay.
It is very, very important for you to make the best, most correct representation. This is the number one document that a buyer is going to look at when they're ready to make an offer.
Okay. So that's the
Okay.
seller's disclosure.
Seller's disclosure, and that's going to go in the folder that I'm going to leave with you. And you're going to work on this. When I come back to do the photos, I'm going to collect that.
Okay. Are there any other documents
Yes.
that you need from
Property
me?
survey that will show where the shed is.
The land survey where my fence is on there and stuff like that?
Right.
I think I do.
Okay, look for that.
I'll try to find that for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Anything else that you can think of in regards to warranties, anything that you have?
Well, my appliances are newer, so they're going to have warranties.
Okay.
As I mentioned, the roof comes with a warranty, and the furnace and AC also
Good.
had a warranty. So I have to pull out that paperwork
Excellent.
for you.
Remember,
Okay.
if it's a timberline roof, we want to brag about it.
Right.
Anything that we can do to make this buyer feel like they have instant gratification, that's what we
Okay.
need to do. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
So you're going to work on that. I will need
Okay.
an extra house key. I know it's hard for you to part with.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
All right.
Okay? And when
Yeah.
I come back, we will put the lockbox on the door, and,
Okay.
and we're going to lock that key up.
Do I have to have a sign?
You don't have to, but we highly recommend that you do. Remember, it's not a secret. Okay? These buyers know that the house has been listed.
My neighbors are so nosy.
They all are, but it's okay. You'll get over it.
Yeah, I guess they know I'm going to be selling it anyway, right?
Absolutely. Your kids probably already told everybody
Okay.
on the block.
Okay.
Okay? Now it's really going to sell. Before it was just a little warm up.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, a couple of things that I want to go over with you for photo day.
Okay.
This is a little cheat sheet
Okay.
of things that I would love to expect to see when I come
Okay.
back. You know, sometimes my expectations may not be this, realistic.
Right.
And I know that it's difficult and you work. Anything that you can do, cleaning off of the counters, the vanities, things like that, keep this handy as you go room by room. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will be back to do some staging.
So if I have any questions on that list, I can just call you.
You call me.
Okay.
Absolutely. In here, this is something that you're going to keep handy.
Okay.
Okay, business card. Obviously, you can call, text,
Yep.
email, all day, every day.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So we have our target date ready. I have already filled out the paperwork. The only thing I need to do is put the date on here.
And just recap, price was,
Okay. So we're going to go ahead with the. Are you okay with the 238? That's going to make it very competitive.
I think we should do that.
I think that we should too.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
so
do
excited.
it. Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yay! Okay. And you're fine with the 6% commission structure, right?
I don't want to be, but in this case,
Let's do this.
let's do it.
All right. And we are going to have a lockbox. Okay. This is everything that we talked about. You can go ahead and sign, and you can date this one today.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
Me too.
New beginnings?
I'm nervous, I'm anxious, but I really feel like this is such a good fit.
It is. It's going to be okay. It was
Thank
so
you.
nice to meet you
It was
today.
so great to meet you.
Hang in there.
I'm going to hang in there.
It's going to be okay.
Let's do this.
We're going to do it.
Thank
It's
you.
okay.